afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, host Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Heroes Reich, Defender of the Fatherland, here now in the era of the Trump, fighting off, or commenting here on a 1 vs 1 episode on some Moscow winter between the south. We got Tassos fighting for the Soviet Union for the 210th Rifle Division, holding the line under the fascist attack here from Talisman, fighting with Germany, Deutschland, and the Kampfgruppe Wolf, charging force to push through and establish a fort post for fresh assaults. We've got here Ostrom Doctor by chosen immediately for Talisman with guard motor parts and tactics and mechanized support here for Tassos. So there's going to be a lot of Ostrom. Could be in fact be here tier 2 rush from Talisman. Moving head towards the bigger things first for Tassos. We got the Special Rifle Command, many Penal Troopers and the likes out there. Possibly a sniper as well to bleed out his opponent, though obviously with Ostrom that's going to be a lot less efficient strategy.
Sergei, for some reason we seem to not do enough damage to them. It's like they don't care about... Oh wait, I can see why. They're not German. Of course, Petro.
Anyways, consequence there versus Ostrom here inside the house. Bit of shooting going on there. Overall, this is not going to be any engagement there for Tassos without Coward, because while the Ostrom, I mean, later on in the game, kind of, get pretty weak early on, in a good position, they can generally actually outdo most of the sort of basic infantry. That tends to be sort of the basis of any Ostrom strategy. Get out a bunch of Ostrom, and then gain a hold, and then try and transform that into something better. Where most people tend to fail with this strategy, as I sort of casually mention, is they tend then to not move further on from the Ostrom, which then tends to mean later on in the game they become a lot weaker and they can't really, for example, support the tanks very well, since the Ostrom aren't exactly what you call Panzer Grenadier material. We got a scout car there on the way for Tassos up north. Viewpoint there was called out by the Pioneers. So we actually got a pretty bold play here from Talisman, as we got just 4 squads and sweeping out. And again, in that regard, Tassos' early play for Penal Troops and the scout car is slightly running into some problems, because again, he will have more firepower with the Ostrom. The problem is, map-wise, Talisman is just going to be grabbing most of it, again, thanks to just the sheer numbers here. In this case, the Penal Troops are just routed. He's trying to grab the point. In this case, he's just minimised the amount of fire he can take for the Ostrom before rushing away and just go for them. But instead, he's pulling further into cover here, instead of just trying to get close, using the car for some advance through the tombstones, minimising fire, and then getting close here. You got more Ostrom out there. We got an MD4 to for Talisman. So it's a pretty heavy tier 1 still, but into tier 2 rush, I imagine. Penal Troops, they're taking a few losses again. If he'd been rushing in, they could at least push one Ostrom squad there before the other came in, but oh well. At the same time, though, with this kind of Ostrom heavy strategy, he won't have Panzerfaust. So in this case, Tassos is making a pretty good decision, just rushing in his scout car, pushing them back, and in fact, needs these targets, forcing the fire onto the scout car. It would also allow the Penal Troops to close in, but in this case, it does not. But either way, 50 cover fire, 30 cover fire there, raking into the Ostrom. Penal Troops with SVT-40s, gunning down the Ostrom here. Up here we got Units versus Pioneers. We got the Contras there arriving as well. Scout car's going to need a few repairs, but already have 3 kills, plus 3 kills as well. That's almost a full squad there. Ostrom, though, of course, spread out in different units. We got Ostrom, they move through the south. Still got 1 squad occupying the house here. He's going to need something to flush them out with. And we got Contras up to help deal with the Pioneers, and yes, going for the fuel point, trying to stall Talisman's fuel flow. He could try here with a satchel charge, and there we go. We got it through the windows. Will he be paying attention in time? Oh, no. All Ostrom squad there wiped in the early game. 45 munitions, 200 manpower gone. That's actually going to hurt their Talisman a bit. Units, they're pushing back the Pioneers. We can see the Talisman all of a sudden doing a lot of damage. He needs to pull back the scout car, though. The scout car is not bulletproof. And there you go, taking a lot of damage there from the MD42. Needs to pull back. Takes the wrong path. He goes through the fence rather than behind it. Misclick perhaps. Either way, scout car is down. He did some damage with it, but it would have been preferable, I think, for Tassos had he been able to keep it alive for a bit longer. As for Talisman, well, he's tagged up. They just need to get the light mechanized company. That will happen. There's the Pioneers back to their back. Few point there been cured. We have more Penal Troops out here. We got the MD4 holding up the conscript. He's going to need to flank it. The Penal Troops will need to connect the other fuel point here, I think. They're in a poor condition anyway. So I mean, mostly can use some diversion there for the MD42. But already here we got fresh Ostrom barreling forwards. Kar 98Ks clutched in their hands, ready to fend off against the Marxists. Not going to connect, but instead going for another point there. I think you should be aiming there to connect the fuel point on the south as quickly as possible. They go Penal Troops versus the Ostrom, and quickly doing a bit of damage there. Oh, house is being occupied there. The Penal Troops being caught in a pretty bad position there. There's quite munitions there for another satchel charge. We got Garsman out here. Not enough munitions for DP light machine gun either. Bit of shooting there, bit of shooting there. Again, need to reconnect the territories in the south, though. Field troops taking losses. Basically realised he has to draw a bit further away. There we go, another satchel charge. House gonna get wrecked. Austin falling away. Oh! No! I'm guessing that was a misclick. That's the only way that could make sense. That's got to be the most expensive misclick in ages. Is he crazy? But no, I don't want to go in there. Yet. Boom. Holy moly. I actually had to close my eyes there. That was... Oh dear. That's got to be like the most expensive misclick either. That's really the only way I can get that to make sense. He just misclicked. He misclicked. That was a terrible misclick. Painful misclick. Got more guardsmen out there for Tassos, though. Still no upgrades from Nissan, in particular after he went for that pretty devastating demo charge that hurt him more than the enemy. Almost got another Ostrom squad there, though. Guardsmen pushing forwards. And finally moving towards reconnecting again. He should have been faster about that. Field troops there being retreated. Fuel point up north here being secured by Talisman's Ostrom. Here, points being secured by the conscripts. Ostrom about there. Conscripts, Field troops almost about that, but looks like they'll barely manage it there. PTS find the Ostrom. We got more Ostrom called up here for Talisman as he's suffering losses. Quickly replaces the ones who's been lost in the fight against the Soviets. All men being pushed forward to the front line. He's got the fuel point there, disconnected from his opponent's territories, but that's about it. 2-2 ready to support the Ostrom. At the same time, the Ostrom attacking in there. It's not going to work out too well, though it would work out less well if Tassos acted to upgrade the Guardsman. He's a bit scattered out there, not quite full on. They've got a grenade attempt at the Ostrom that doesn't quite work out. Guardsman need to retreat in the face of the Ostrom rapidly. PTS fire there in the 2-2-2. Guardsman then being pushed back. Penal troops are reinforcing. Needs to get up some takedowns, some kind of light vehicle there. I think versus Talisman. I need to get out some more troops. He also needs to get back that fuel point and maybe stop the Ostrom there. I mean, he's still got more than map control here, but again, that misclick. That's just terrible. It's terrible. Guinness moving up there, you got the Ostrom inside the church here. Guardsman going for the fuel point in the south here. Conscripts there versus the Osttroppen. Pretty good situation. I think you should just try and rush them though. The Ostrom have got no cover that way. Can stall the fuel point from being captured and do more damage to the Ostrom rather than trying to fight a distance. Whereas conscripts overall do pack not so much punch here. Guardsman there versus the Ostrom here. Bit of shooting as he grabs the fuel point, disconnects that. Ostrom were allowed to grab the point. Again, he could have rushed there. I think that could have been done a bit better there by Tassos. We've got Ostrom inside the church. We've got engineers moving up the flamethrowers. Interesting enough, they did not upgrade the penal troopers, so they would have benefited more from the flamethrower in a sense, but would have performed better with it. We've got more Ostrom there. Ostrom, on the other hand, in the church, they're quickly falling back. Up north, they guard continue to fight here versus the Ostrom. We've got a 2-2 ready to flank in, and we got a heavy mortar out there for Tassos. In the 210th Rifle Division, we got the MD-42 here in a bit of an awkward position there versus the Tassos troops. And there we go, Guardsman running. Bit too many chaps there for him to deal with. Engineers, I think, could take up the church and actually hurt some of the troops nearby. They might just have enough range point. They've been grabbed. Once it's grabbed, you should try and flank up and then hit the MD-42 from the side. Penal troops there falling back. Guardsman moving up. Heavy mortar is also close to the front line here, ready to blast the fascists. And we got Panzer Grenadiers there for Talisman. Guardsman there opening up. Also back in the church again, still got the flamethrower squad there. Not, I think, Gracie perhaps he just doesn't care, it's hard to say there. He's losing a lot of Ostrom there. Engineers still need to retreat on the other hand, he can't afford to lose an engineer squad right now. Point here still being grabbed, he's not trying to focus on assist the force in the centre, perhaps a mistake I think by Tassos. I mean, you know, he got the field point, trying to do something about the fight in the centre, then instead he just keeps capping territory there, which overall I think is less efficient there. We got the heavy mortar doing some damage there to Talisman's positions. As for Talisman, he's quickly calling in the supplies there from the Luftwaffe to support the assault here of the Kampfgruppe Wolf. Since apparently the roads aren't quite enough there to bring up sufficient fuel supplies, in which case the Germans did regularly drop in fuel supplies equipped with the Luftwaffe later in the war. And munitions, whatever's needed. Those general units were either beleaguered or just, you know, in such a situation where they had to attack, but regular supply lines weren't working due to mostly mud. Mud really consumed a lot of German vehicles. They lost a lot of trucks to mud. Back here, troops reinforcing, going for the fuel points again. Talisman over keeping good pressure on the fuel points against Tassos. Tassos has yet to take up, say, bring up any kind of T-70 here for some that could be pretty handy versus Talisman at the moment. I mean, he's only got Ostrov now. He's still got no infantry company, which means there'd be no Panzerfaust. I mean, he's got Panzer Grenadiers, and they could be equipped with Panzer, but again, that means the infantry is getting just down to Osttruppen. So T-70 right now, I think, could be a pretty strong choice there for Tassos, and a half-tech in theory as well. Mines being laid down in the carve point, not bad. Don't set the mortar head first, set infantry head first, then the mortar. Need to be a bit more careful there with his tactical approach there, Mr. Tassos. Penal troopers got up. There goes, got the flamethrowers now on the penal troopers, though I do think at this point he really ought to then also prioritise getting some light machine guns on the Guardsmen, as they really perform better with the light machine guns. It's really sort of one of the things that make them absolutely damn good. Flamethrower attack there through the fence, good work there, good work there. Slightly more advanced tactic, not a lot of players realise you can actually attack around through certain obstacles like fences, hedgerows and the likes. Which is also stuff like this again that makes me believe that was a misclick. Again, a horrendous misclick, but those can happen. Those can happen. It only takes one mistake then, you lost a lot there. In this case, we see him being a bit more careful, not jumping into the trench. There you go, we got Panzers there focusing down first. Good. SVT-40 flamethrower fire here. Talisman's engagement is pretty rubbish for him. In fact, his Panzer is taking heavy damage. Could risk being wiped here. Almost, and the Storm penal troopers themselves have actually he needs to retreat though, unless he's got a constant squad nearby he could merge with. They weren't quite close enough though. Heavy mortar fire there around the boat. We got another trench. It's actually nice to see them actually making use of the trenches. I mean, so far we've seen them use of the Ostrom, supply drop and trenches. Again, for any player who actually uses Ostrom, I mean, over here Talisman has done a lot more than most of them, since most of them don't, use supply drops or trenches. They just go for it simply for the Ostrom and the railway artillery support. But just by going stuff here, I mean, Talisman already heads above most players. So, I mean, thumbs up there. 2 Pioneer with Pioneer support rolling down there. Ostrom versus Guardsman in the centre. Mortar fire raining down there with the 120mm mortar, which, as a fun fact, was widely copied by the Axis forces. The Finnish, the Hungarians, the Romanians, and of course the Germans, they just straight up copied it. That's how good it was. Up north here, we got Guardsmen versus Pioneers. Pioneers still quickly dispatched. We've got take up there for Tassos. Could go for the T-70 then, rush to that way. Of course, could try and rush for T-3, get out some T-34s there, T-34, some 6 and T-35. We got, holy moly, Talisman's actually playing straight for Tier 4. So, a Tier 2 rush into Tier 4 rush. Wow, that is pretty audacious there from Talisman. We got an artillery field force officer out here for Talisman. Conscripts, penal troops bring out their troops here healing, reinforcing. Unisa versus the T-2 goes in pretty aggressively. Unisa need to be pretty careful against the T-2. We got Vecchi 2 there gained. Conscripts moving about. Guardsman reinforcing. Trench there with the MG42 in, also moving towards the centre. Quick halt there. Holding through. The Ostrom. Ostrom versus conscripts. Penal troops here. Moving about. Vecchi 2. Overall stable defensive man, though of course a good flank here could quickly dislodge it. Or well utilised heavy mortar. Point there being seized, but needs to get back to the field. In that regard, Tassos isn't quite displaying as much strength there against Talisman at the moment. Which is less good. He's not going for anything here, in which case he's planning for the mechanised armour company, in which case he needs to rush that out. I mean, he can't afford to wait about for that much longer. Because they're being pushed back. Guardsmen and the 2-2 with their PTS rifles, and here we got Ostrom running into the carve point there. Guard squad up there for Gordon. No upgrades there as of yet. He really needs to upgrade those guard squads. They really become a lot better with DP light machine guns. So he's a bit surprising he hasn't upgraded a single guard squad as of yet. He does have the mission for it. He's now going for the H-6. Now cancels it. cancels it. Is he planning then tech up, or is T7, in which case he needs to go for either soon now? I mean, he can't just afford to wait about there. The longer he waits, the more likely Talisman to actually pull off here a tier 4 rush, which again is absolutely astounding. Really bold, really aggressive, really confident play there for Tassos, but also calling in the officer. A player who even goes for the officer. Wow. Most players don't even bother with that. But at the same time, it could be an indicator he's actually planning on using the Panzerwerfer there from the Schwerpanzer quarters. Not heavy Schwerpanzer quarters, that's the Oberkommandist one. The heavy Panzer Corps. Since basically, if you use the heavy or the Panzerwerfer then together with the officer, you can basically use the officer and then call in the second artillery strike, you know, ignoring the cooldown on the Panzerwerfer, meaning you can get twice the artillery strikes out of a Panzerwerfer. And use it just to retreat before the Panzer Grenadiers put them out of their misery. Still no tech up there, really. Tassos, you need to get it done quickly. Got the centre. They could consider laying down some tripwire flare mines with his units to slow down any German infantry attack there. Got the point here. We got demo charge there around the spot here. Very good spot. Who knows? He might have watched the previous episode and noticed that one's pretty effective. But either way, that one's could be pretty painful there for Talisman if he's not careful. Pretty damn painful. In this case, though, he's not quite entering through there, but even then, if he gets too close there, someone's going to get blasted. Up here, God bless his Panzer Grenadiers. Quick bun grenade. Does he pay attention? Oh, no. Panzer's going to retreat, though. He's retreating. Are they also going to pursue? Are they also going to pursue? Oh, dear. Another explosive wipe here. Need to retreat the guardsmen. He really needs to upgrade one of those guard squads with light machine guns. You got mechanized armor company going ahead for Tassos. And we got a Panzerwerfer for Talisman. That's definitely not what I recommend under these circumstances. I'd probably aim first for a tank. I mean, really, he has rushed ahead there. In terms of, you know, just getting to tier 4. So, I mean, really, he needs some kind of anti-tank because, I mean, if Tassos were then to go for a quick T-34 Sim 6, I mean, Talisman will be pretty badly caught off guard. Hell, he can go for T-35 reasonably quickly as well. So that's a bit risky there, to be honest, from Talisman as to what he's doing there just for the Panzerwerfer. Still need to get those guardsmen out there, Tassos. Tassos. Don't forget your men. I mean, it can happen. I've certainly had cases where I just sort of position MQ-42 on infantry squad in house, and then all of a sudden you forget them until you sort of get a report, oh, they got wiped. But, you know, that's why train yourself to pay better attention to these kinds of things. Double Pioneer Squad with the Flamethrower versus the conscripts. Tassos really hasn't laid down enough Flamethrowers, I think, and it caused Talisman to play more carefully. Comes to the retreat, and Talisman has got a ton of munitions. He could easily lay down a lot of S-mines and telemines, you know, make it harder for Tassos to move about. But neither has he. So we've got a Panzerwerfer out there for Talisman and the Kampfgruppe Wolf. Both of them being engaged in this time here for the mid-game analysis in terms of damage. Reasonably close to each other. Kills-wise, also reasonably close to each other. In fact, Tassos is slightly ahead, but again, remembering most of those kills were Osttorben, it doesn't quite count as much. But, you know, it would be more worrying there if Talisman was actually ahead of his opponent. But, you know, it is a bit interesting to note then. Again, syndicates, you know, Tassos could possibly sharpen up his play a bit, to put it mildly. In terms of army value, though, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. Talisman is slightly ahead again. He's got Tier 4, he's got Panzerwerfers, he's got some Panzer Grenadiers. So, I mean, it's not too surprising there in terms of resource float. Pretty close there. That's, you know, less good in some ways. Of course, good for Talisman is then allowed to float. Again, had Tassos maybe just rushed for some lighter vehicles, just push Talisman and then there, a tier 4 rush would have been a lot less practical. It could have been a lot more punishing there for Talisman. So that's something there to keep in mind. Points out though, Talisman has been in better control. Tassos has been less focused. He's just trying to attack. Not so well in defending, in particular not the fuel points. He's not been too reactive. He's just sort of kept attacking Talisman there. So that's something that he also needs to think to sharpen up on a bit. But overall, he needs to, I think, to just try and A, secure this part of the map here, upgrade his guards with the light machine guns, lay down some mines around some of the more critical points around the map, and he needs to get out a bloody tank, you know, try and push back Talisman with it, and of course, keep it supported with his infantry properly. If he can do that, he should have a pretty good chance, I think, there versus Talisman, as long as he, you know, avoids any misclicks like that or any other mishaps. I mean, he can just keep bleeding out Talisman and do some damage, and again, that requires upgrading the guards, and really, if you upgrade the guards, the Ostrom will lose a lot of value very quickly. And that just allows him to push for really seriously. He could just go for more penal troops. But either way, he needs more firepower to pretty much just undermine Talisman's Ostrom completely in this case. And if he can do that, he can leave Talisman much weakened. Because, again, most of his force is composed of Ostrom. As for Talisman, you know, more attacks, more flanks, more panzer grenadiers. Again, he's relying a bit too much on the Ostrom at the moment. He's going to need more panzer grenadiers down the road. And I'd also recommend a Panther. I mean, he could go for the Sturmpanzer, but again, that just again leaves him vulnerable to when the tanks actually hit. So, I mean, a Panther over there would, I think, serve Talisman quite nicely. So, let's return to the fight. See what happens. Pioneers going there for the fuel point. Up here, we got Satchels going off, by the looks of it. Or just a mortar fire there. Panther barrage against the penal troopers there. In this case, doesn't too much, but again, note it was a very close range, which overall means it's a lot more effective. Basically, the further away an artillery piece is from where it's being shot at, or what it's shooting at, the more the shots scatter. In close-up Panther, for example, is very devastating to sort of small units. In this case, the Panzerwerfer quite brutally missed the penal troopers up here. Engineers versus Panther is Ostrom flanking in there. He needs to get some troops on that. Fuel cache up here for Tassos. Good idea there, good idea there. Help sort of keep off some of the fuel loss he suffered there. Good idea. Need to get the T-34 then as quickly as possible. There we go. T-34 85 on the way for Talisman. Oh, not Talisman, but Tassos. Guardsman being attacked by Panzer Grenadiers. He needs to put off a grenade. There we go. Fragmentation grenade. There we go. Almost got the Panzer Grenadiers wiped. Another Panther barrage around here. This time, no note called in by the officer. Almost wipes the penal trooper score, but there you go. I mean, with this, I mean, he can basically have his Panther have a much higher rate of fire. And that probably also caught Tassos off guard because most players don't use the officer for that one. So, nice work there. Up north here, Gaspin got the Panzers pushed back, almost wiped them. Versus the Ostrom, they might lose that. Again, if he had a light machine gun on these Gaspin, he would be doing a lot more with them. I'm really surprised he's not upgraded a single guard squad there with the light machine gun because it really makes them great.
We have a new T-34 standing by.
It means they can take on, well, a lot of elite infantry, quite nicely, particularly with a bit of veterancy. But T-35 down way, and he's actually going for a Sturmpanzer. That is extremely confident there by Talisman, if not downright reckless. Not really what I'd recommend going for at the moment, particularly not when his opponent actually gets out tanks. I mean, in theory, he could pull it off, but wouldn't take much to punch him forward. Ostrom then to fight from the T-35. Ostrom out in the obtaining losses. Do we finally have some light machine guns up there? Nope, still nothing. It's pretty much, I think, the T-34 there just blasting apart there. Quickly evacuating here the church. Good work there. Guards will still take some damage and get pinned down, but they can retreat there and just get healed up. Troops there need to get moving, at least the penal troopers, and, you know, he still needs to upgrade his guardsmen. I'm really a bit, you know, surprised there's been this long amount of time the guardsmen, he just hasn't upgraded them. Again, they massively benefit from light machine guns. Got the Sturmpanzer 4 here, or it's the Stupa, as the Germans called it, by the way. They did not call it the Brumba, that's actually an allied designation given to it. The Germans themselves call it the Stupa. Little fun fact there. Obviously doesn't sound quite as cool as Brumba, but, you know, that's how the Germans went. You know, they didn't go for rule of cool, they just went for, you know, well, what makes sense more logically. Grabbing points here, Sturmpanzer moving ahead with his 150mm howitzer. Engineers to take losses, T-35 that penetrates the frontal armour. 100mm by way of armour on that Sturmpanzer. Panzerjäger's moving up, this is basically using the Panzers. I don't know, I mean, upgrading again, they're veteran, they'd be better served. In fact, they're his only sort of reasonably reliable infantry units, so I mean, upgrading those seems a bit, you know, daft. I mean, regular Panzers working with a Panther, I think would have been a much more stronger combo there for Talisman. Tassos then got control of the map here. Do we see any mines in there? We got S-mines here, the boys peppered the entire around here with it. We got a demo charge on the fuel point, bit more risky. Can work out. Engineers healing reinforcing, fuel point secure plus the fuel cache. Now Tassos can actually edge ahead of Talisman quite securely in fuel. Now, of course, Talisman's got plenty of fueling part thanks to the supply drop zones. Sturmpanzer up now the penal troopers, half the unit gone. Panther flying down. Knocks out a house, I believe, wipes another guard squad. Still got the other squad that he needs to replace the one he lost. And of course he needs to upgrade the guard squads. We got another fuel cache up here for Tassos. I think another one right now is a bit much. He still needs to get some replacement infantry again. He should be focusing on upgrading his guardsmen and just getting up more tanks. You know, another fuel cache can help, but just feels a bit much there. More Panther for fire there. In this case, using the officer again to open up the guardsmen. Need to retreat. again. Good work there by Talisman by using the officer to call in the artillery. He's not retreating. He's not realising what's going on there. Talisman being a bit overwhelmed with just 2 caught up in the centre here. But really retreat the guardsmen. Tassos. Grenade off. That's not really going to help them, though. They're not really going to help. They're outnumbered, surrounded Tassos. No feat of heroism can save them from that one. No threat of death can either. Storm Punch rolling hit. Immortal Crew needs to get out of there. Just retreat, retreat, Tassos. Retreat. There we go. But it might still be too late if he times the attack correctly. And there you go. Very nice particular attack round there from Talisman. Wipes the Immortal and he might just even knock it out entirely. T-55 they're still being fixed up, not using self-repair there. And there you go. Heavy mortal loss for Tassos. Quite a loss there. Quite a victory for Talisman. Up here we got Pioneers there. Apparently survived the demo charge. Perhaps something else got annihilated. It's just down to 2 more storm squads. The Infantry building attack inside the base. Needs to get the T-55 behind the Storm Panzer and knock it out. Firing in 15mm high explosive shells. Someone's dying pretty loudly there. Help me, I'm dying. Ill. Units there half wiped again by the Storm Panzer. Got artillery called in this nasty. Good thing they had actually a base building there at the edge, so they can reinforce safely there, by the way. Jump punch there being now pursued by the T-55. We got veterans 1 here in the centre. Engineers need to retreat in the face of the Panzer. Going to pop up a grenade. Engineers flanking in there. T-55 pursuing again the Storm Panzer. No sign still of a tank there from Talisman. An actual tank. Got the second T-55 there arriving. 2-2 moving towards the centre there. Halfway to victory fleet. Panzer going to be retreated. Fuel pond there secured by the conscripts. And note, by the way, he's actually setting up nicely. He's trying to predict where the Storm Panzer's moving, so he's trying to flank it. But in this case, though, Talisman is trying to cut it off and sort of trying to harbour. In this case, he doesn't quite work out. Again, the arc sort of works out. And he's going to get hit here from the other side with the T-35, which then gets hit at the rear armour. If it hits. In fact, none of the T-35s they hit. There we go. Storm Panzer almost knocked out. They're also nearby in trouble. In the centre, they got to pushing back the 2-2 squad here by the Penal Troopers. Oh, he's finally upgrading the volley. Fine, but Nitro in the Panzerwerfer. Panzerwerfer. Oh dear. Wipes the guard squad. That had finally been upgraded. On the other hand, the Sturm Panzer's abandoned. Oh dear, but really Tassos needs to wake up a bit than his unit preservation. He's losing a lot of squads in some slightly silly ways. Telemine's down there by the carve point. He's splitting up his T-55s. Obviously wants to grab the point and want to guard, but you know, need to be a bit careful with that, I suppose, and also need to keep the infantry nearby it. More guardsmen out there for Tassos. Troops are reinforcing. Needs to get some engineers down there on the... No, then he splits them up. Keep them together, Tassos. Keep them together. Strike with a fist, not an open hand. Remember the words of Guderian. Even if he was German, you're clearly Soviet. Panther on the way there for Talisman. Bring up some of the heavy armor there to take on Tassos and the 210th Rifle Division. Continue to grab territory with the T-45s. Bit risky, should keep them together. Minimize surprise and, you know, maximize strength. And he needs to get the engineers down to the Sturm Panzer. Get it fixed. Get it back against the enemy. That could really hurt Talisman a lot there. But for some reason, he's not prioritizing, you know, a heavy assault tank, if you will. That could do a lot of damage to Talisman's infantry, which in most, you know, vital ones, actually pretty small then. Thus, easy targets for the Sturm Panzer. That is definitely, I think, poor prioritization there from Tassos. Panzerman for fire again. Need to retreat those engineers. Virtually 2 there, 18 kills. I mean, he's really done a lot there. Thanks to the offer, just maximised the lethality of the Panzerwerfer. That's really impressive, to be honest. Yeah, not a lot of players really do that. And last one I can remember doing that was Red Wings. Hits the Telemine. Oh dear. He's really intent on getting the 2-2-2. And there we go. We got the Panther running, and he's going to lose that T-55 there on the spot. Guards are trying to support, but they're going to have to retreat there. Penetrating hit from the T-55, there we go, main gun down, and the Panzerschrecks finish it off. Right here is basically punished, you know, from working the tanks to independently. In this case, you know, keeping the lead one, not fractfully well supported except for a guard squad, which couldn't do much for the rest of the infantry due to a lack of machine guns. He's finally getting someone down there, but it's not the engineers. I mean, he's just going to accrue it, but not repair it. That is definitely the wrong priorities there for Tassos. Definitely wrong priorities. But we got a Panther out there for Talisman, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Panther Panzer.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Fun fact, early models of the Panther actually looked very much like a T-34 until they basically kind of went, you know, this looks awfully Russian. Yeah, we should probably make it look more German, more engineered, you know. Bring up the other T-35, but generally one T-35 versus a Panther is a pretty risky business. You'd rather want, you know, more plus Guardsmen than engaging a Panther there. So that is, I don't think the wiser see here by Tassos, to put it mildly. He knows it's there, so why he challenges it on its own? Not surprising. They need to pull back the T-35. Hopes Talisman does not pursue it with a Panther, or the Panther just really misses a lot. Still not doing anything about the Sturmpanzer. Definitely a bit of a mistake there. We got supply drops again here for Talisman, providing more fuel for the Panthers. Possibly more Panthers. But yeah. A tier 2 to tier 4 strategy here. More T-35s. In this case, the double fuel caches are helping out Tassos actually. So I mean, that is nice for him. If just his unit position is a bit better, and again his priorities were a bit sharper, again he could have had Sturmpanzer supporting the T-35 around here, which could actually pressure the Panther a bit more by removing the infantry support from it at the very least. Tassos, what are you doing? Keep the tanks together! Keep the tanks together! Fuel drop there, continuing for Talisman. Field Troopers Guardsmen attacking into the centre with nary support here. Panther looks up machine guns. Again, we got a Panther barrage. In this case, doesn't quite work out, but the infantry just keep continuing, taking fire there from the Germans, particularly the Panther is doing some damage, and the officer. Got another two-strike called in. Need to retreat. Oh dear. On the Guardsmen, almost wiping them, almost wiping the Penal Troops as well. Again, really sharp Panzer uses there by Talisman. Really sharp. Now it's going for the second Panther. He's finally, by the way, getting around to fixing up the Sturmpanzer. And again, he could have done that a lot sooner. He could have ended up going a lot faster as well. Now he's lost too much as well, because he also lost his other engineer squad. T-35 needs to pull away from the Panther. Needs to get the other one up there to support pretty quickly. But there you go. We got Panzerich supporting as well. We got marked vehicle, but again, rather poorly timed, I think. Another Panther on the way still, of course. Doesn't know. Panther misses. Was the T-35 there? Other T-35 moves up and misses. Oh dear. And another T-35 there cooked up. T-35 there failed to penetrate the frontal arm of the Panther. Second Panther almost done. More Panther shaking. He's just disengaged really. Tassos really seems to have a hard time realising when you just need to break off and try to salvage what you've got there. Instead, he just keeps fighting until he's already suffered too many losses and might not even be able to get it out of there. And that's also a vital part of unit preservation, knowing when to get the devil out of there. And right here, Tassos clearly is striking a bit with that. Perhaps he's just had enough here. Either way, though, he's very light. Oh, looks like he might just barely get away there, but that was definitely not a very sharp engagement there by Tassos. And now we got a second Panther out here for Talisman, bringing up to 2 Panthers. That is a lot of firepower. That is a lot of firepower.
Only 200 points remain.
Sturmpanzer's almost good to go. Got trenches dug in as well here with veteran Ostrom. Also, fun fact, the Ostrom actually had their own separate medals. But they were more like, I think, strips of cloth or something like that. Still, they had their own sort of award system there. Need to fix up the T-35, need to get up an SU-85 thing to help deal with all this Panther stuff here. Guys moving up, needs to be careful about attacking 2 Panthers head on with machine guns and all that. They can actually lay down a nasty volume of fire here, these 2 Panthers. Moving up the Sturmpanzer here, need to keep it all together. Tassos, don't do anything silly. Governor getting blasted by the Panthers, just charging forwards, taking heavy fire there. There we go. 2 Panthers in a matter of seconds, taking a guard squad there down to half health again. 2 Panthers is surprisingly effective, just also really expensive. Panther for firing in support here. This time they're not willing barrage there by Talisman. I don't think he cares. We've got engineers to be engaged as well. Second Panther for barrage, courtesy of the officer. Not so well aimed either. Grab the exit point over here. Mine goes off, killing some of the Ostrom, who have been pilfered and flamethrower from someone. Which by the looks of it was a German. Nope. Russian, you can tell the flamethrower there because Russians disguise some of their flamethrowers as rifles. In fact, some of the earlier models actually had the flamethrower tank also look like a backpack.
Supply sector under attack.
Also, another fun fact is flamethrower operators were generally always hated and generally sort of
We have an isolated
pulled away after the
sector.
fighting had shot because no one really liked them. They basically looked for anyone who looked like, they'd operate a flamethrower like burn marks and the like. So, a little fun fact there, little fun fact. Fields with any true cheat, Panthers engaging. Needs at least another T-35 here, or needs a T-34-6. Splitting up his armor, not a good idea there, Tassos. After taking hits. In fact, also now we note that he's actually used every single part of his doctrine there. Jump Panther versus Panther Grenadiers, shoots. Doesn't quite get a good hit there. Panther coming in towards his Jump Panther, we've got Guardsman nearby. Panther opens up this Jump Panther, needs to get the T-35 up there, someone behind us for support. Need to cover the Guardsman. Panther fire down there, Guardsman all clean close to the Panther. Oh, jeez! Holy moly! You might get one Panther, but that's about it. Good lord, just dead Guardsmen all over the place. Huge loss there for Tassos. I mean, that is definitely GG. And there you go, GG will play from both players. Third Panther for Talisman, he's just going out there. This has definitely been a rare T4 rush. It actually worked out. Asking for tips, very nice. Friendly of him, I suppose. Otherwise, if I were to give any tips and ops, that's what I've been doing all the time here because I want people to improve. But, overall, get your Guardsman upgrade as fast as possible. Play them a bit more coherently. He was a bit sort of incoherent at times. Stick your armor together. Try and keep support by infantry and lay down more mines. Also defend your fuel points better. I mean, Tassos wasn't really good at defending the fuel points, and also, speed up your tech moves there again. Either you sort of go for the mechanized armor coming in as soon as possible, or at least get out some light tank before that, so that way pressure your opponent. Talisman, I'd say overall played pretty damn well. There are a few mistakes here and there, but overall he played, I think, reasonably well. Though again, should have more Panzer Grenadiers out there. Again, it was only through sheer luck that Tassos did not upgrade his guard squads there that he wasn't punished severely for just relying a lot on Ostrom. Had he done that, Talisman would have been in a lot more trouble. That was really absolutely lucky there in some of the parts. But still, very interesting tier 2 rush into tier 4 rush, making great use of Panther Feathers and Panthers as well. I mean, that's quite impressive, and it's only a bit on the rare side there. So, hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you gained some different matches, some ideas, some tactics, some strategies. Hopefully, something will improve it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, and comment on it. This is Imperial signing off, and hope to see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Cheers.